For 20 days, yes. Yeah, so well, not jail, it's called the range. For the first 20 days, you have to work 12 hours. But on the 21st day, you can run for 10, you can run for 5 hours.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Horse Race Question meeting. We're going to go ahead and start. We've got tight schedules in here. Several commissioners via phone. One that has a commitment to teach. So keep moving. Just go to the thanks for being here. This meeting has been purple sunshine. By way of notice, the Commission conducted an executive session this morning to engage in quasi-judicial deliberations regarding to be adjudicated at the public meeting, discuss personnel matters, and engage in attorney-client privilege communication. So no other agency actions were taken. That will all be part of this afternoon's meeting. For the record, just so you know that happened. So let's begin with some introductions. Stephanie, you begin, please, on where we're at.
Stephanie Fowler, Executive Assistant. Maria Curran, Assistant Counsel for the Commission.
George Augusto, Assistant Counsel for the Commission. Darrell Brenizer, Standardbred Commissioner. John Egnall, Commissioners.
Tom Chukas, Directors, Bureau Director.
And we have Commissioner Bunda on the phone. Russell Ready, Chair.
Corinne Sweaty, Commissioner. Michelle Luddy, Commissioner.
Ed Rogers, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. You have before you the minutes of December the 18th. I got a chance to review those. For the motion to approve them, please.
So moved.
Commissioner Rogers on the motion and Commissioner Egnall on the second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Abstentions, motion carries. Thank you. Do the racing fund update, Tom?
Sure. Unfortunately, Tracy's sick, so I'll try to fill in. Starting with the financials and the racing fund, the commissioners, it's in tab 3. It's in A3. Okay. Beginning cash balance was $7.1 million. Total revenue for the month of December was 1.7. Total expenditures were a little over $2 million for an ending cash balance of almost $6.9 million. Moving on to the Racehorse Commission testing, or Racehorse Commission. Total revenue for the month of December was $952,000. Personnel costs were about $369,000. Total operating was $193,000 for a listing of total expenditures of $562. In reviewing the document, all the expenditures in fiscal date numbers are pretty much in line with our budget. At this point, we've spent about 44% of the budget. Any questions? Moving on to horse race testing. The racehorse development transfer is $780,000. Personnel costs for December were $369,000. Total operating costs were a little over $1 million, $1,081,000. Total expenditures are $1.4 million. It's been 44% of the budget. The one line I'll mention is on other specialized services. You see $895,000. That's
Class 12157 for 92421 is now joining.
This is Sal Levante joining. I'm sorry to be late.
Commissioner, we're doing the financial statements right now. We're on to the Pennsylvania racehorse testing. I was speaking about the other specialized services. You see a cost in December of $895,000. That's a compilation of four previous months, and they're catching up. So moving forward, what you should see in that line is a monthly cost of around $250,000, give or take. So we're caught up. Any questions on the horse testing? Racehorse promotions, really no activity. We've got small costs of $134 and $1,900. Both of those educational supplies were used at the farm show. The commission had a booth at the farm show located next to the horse racing industry. We gave away certain things, pens, bags, and so on. This is a small part of the cost. Moving on to a combination statement, comparative. Total revenue, month ending, was $11 million. Year to date, it's up about $2 million, about $1.6 million. The main reason that is timing, simply timing moving forward. Personnel costs are 5.5. They're almost exactly the same as a year ago. And if you look at the total operating, 3.4 versus 3.6, it's almost exactly in line. Nothing's out of line there. Total expenditures through December were a little over $9 million. Any questions? The last couple of sheets deal with the breeding fund and sire stakes. With that, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Okay, thank you, Tom. We have a motion to accept the December financial report as presented.
So moved.
Dr. Sweeney on the motion.
Second.
Everybody on the second discussion of the financials? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the financials as presented, say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Dr. Robinson, welcome. Welcome back.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to give a brief report of our research progress in 2018. We had two manuscripts accepted for publication, and two manuscripts published in 2018, and 3 were accepted for publication and are available as e-publications ahead of print. The titles of those manuscripts are Detection and Confirmation of Alpha Cobra-Toxin in Equine Plasma by Solid Phase Extraction and Liquid Chromatography coupled to mass spectrometry. Pharmacokinetics, disposition, and plasma concentrations of PMSO in the horse following the topical, oral, and intravenous administration. Pharmacokinetics of intravenous, subcutaneous, and topical administration of lidocaine and its metabolites in the horse. High throughput racehorse doping control analysis of 28 amphetamine-type stimulants in equine plasma using hydrophilic interaction liquid chromatography tandem to mass spectrometry. And the last one is doping control analysis of 4 JWH-250 metabolites in equine urine by LC-MSMS. So this is a mixture of pharmacology studies as well as studies in analytical chemistry to improve our testing methods that we have at the laboratory. We also attended several conferences: the International Conference of Racing Analysts and Veterinarians, the Conference on Mass Spectrometry and Allied Topics, the American College of Veterinary Internal Medicine Forum, the meeting of the Society for Leukocyte Biology, that's a biomarker conference, the Kentucky Equine Research Group held a conference. It's very rare that they do that, so that was a really good networking conference for us to attend. All of the speakers there had previously given film lectures at the AAEP, which is the American Association of Equine Practitioners. And finally, the International Conference of Equine Exercise Physiology, which is held every 4 years. We attended as well, which will help us with our exercise program as we move forward with that program. There were 11 abstracts from our group presented at those various conferences. And with that, I will stop and take any questions. If there are any questions. And you will have a copy of this if you don't already.
Well, it's just, so when you say our group presented, right, the other abstracts?
Yes.
Who is that?
So we have 28 employees that work at Petrol, it's a mixture at Petrol and also at the Bolton Center. So there's people who work at the Bolton Center as well as people who work at Petrol. We work on analytical chemistry as well as pharmacology. So there are multiple people within the group that presented either an oral presentation or an abstract as a poster presentation at these various conferences.
So the professional meetings, you carry back obviously a lot of relationships and knowledge. Is there something else that we should be doing that we're not, just in terms of separate issues?
No, I mean, we are right on top of where we need to be, and anything, I think we're at the forefront of a lot of the most important issues right now. So, and these meetings are really, really helpful for us to be able to connect with others working in the same fields, to collaborate. It's always easier to have a face-to-face conversation with another scientist working in the same area than it is either by phone or by email. So it helps people to trust each other, to work together. So that's, I think, that's probably one of the most important things about going to these meetings and sharing some of our work. We don't share all of it. You pick and choose at what point in time you want to share your work. But it's really a very important part of the scientific process to be able to have that time to come together and then to pick each other's brains and make sure that we're all staying on top of the important questions.
Excellent. Questions, comments? Very much appreciate the good work, and I like that you have larger engagement beyond Petrol and the Bolton Center, just to sort of tell our story, number one, but obviously this gives us a point to check our work and issues that are on our screen, extension of yours. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good. Okay, we have Jason Wilson here. Jason, welcome from Trackmaster, an application to approve. Good to see you.
Thank you. As the chairman said, I'm Jason Wilson from Applebee's. Applebee's is the parent company of Trackmaster. Trackmaster is our operating subsidiary. For those of you who don't know, I'll take a step back. I'll probably give a brief overview here of who we are and what we're doing, and then we will show a 4-minute video or so. I'll ask for questions.
You can stand there while George.
No, thanks. So for those of you who has a sign.
For those of you who don't know, Equibase was formed about 25 years ago for racing to take more control over the data that it collects and disseminates. Ever since our founding, we've always been...
Could you please speak up? I can't hear.
Jason, you got to talk right into the mic.
We've ever since our founding, we've always been interested in various technologies for automated tracking of races. For instance, 10 years ago, we vetted and provided some incentives for the adoption of the Trackus system which is at use in 10 or 11 tracks across the continent. About 5 years ago, GPS became a technology that was much more affordable and much more accurate than it had been in the past. So we started to vet more GPS technologies and GPS companies. We partnered with a group over in the UK that owned and operated some racetracks over there. And we vetted about 20 different GPS organizations over a series of about 16 months. We held 3 trials, 2 in the UK, 1 in the United States. We narrowed that group of 20 down to 3. For finalists, eventually we chose a company called Total Performance Data to be our GPS vendor. And we've been working with them for about 2 years to provide services. GPS technology provides the ability to do 4 different things at racetracks. First is it helps our chart callers chart a race. The second is it can provide timing services, which is what our application was for that we submitted earlier this year. Third, it can drive graphics packages, so provide much more fan engagement, more dynamic graphics on videos. And fourth, it can help with workouts. And we've been doing some testing with workouts at Keeneland and some other places. That will probably be the 4th thing that we bring online in a couple of years. Currently, we are the official timer at Golden Gate. That was as of January 1st, 2018. We are now installed in 6 tracks. Our most recent track was Penn National about 2 weeks ago. We've been doing some testing there. And we have 2 or 3 more tracks coming online later on this year. One thing about GPS versus your current system is the GPS technology is a very light footprint. It only involves an antenna and some tags that you put in the saddles, about the size of a cell phone. They're very lightweight. Whereas on a racetrack with a good turf course, you're looking at dozens and maybe even over 100 eyes that have to be installed at a racetrack. So there's a bit of a more flexibility, I think, with the GPS system. So with that, unless there are any questions, I will turn it over to Stephanie for the video.
George, Panther Station.
Technology. It's changed our world in so many ways. Our communications, our culture, our sports. Now, thoroughbred racing has its own game-changing 21st century technology. And Equibase is leading the way with the introduction of GPS automated tracking. This technology has reimagined every facet of racing information. What does it mean for tracks and the sport at large? The ability to provide better and never before seen data by tracking a horse's every movement from the moment it hits the track.
What we rely on still is pen and paper, pretty much old school, factory horses. With GPS, how fast they're going, how fast they're finishing, how fast they're starting, that would be a huge advantage. It would be a whole different era.
We try to make the system as simple as possible. The rider just needs to carry a lightweight tracker.
Don't forget your tag and everything.
It's an order of magnitude difference in the level of detail and information you can get. This tracker uses GPS technology to monitor the motion of the horse, and also accelerometer, so it can capture details on stride patterns, stride length, stride frequency, and really understand and build a big picture of your horse's workout.
What the system could do in the morning is pretty impressive. What happens in the afternoon will dazzle you with the possibilities. In the judge room before each race, a kit about the size of a briefcase has small tracking devices which are securely attached inside each saddle block.
The jockey doesn't have to do anything different, the trainer doesn't have to do anything different. The process is all taken care of. It's managed in the same way as the logistics of racing are normally managed. Traditionally, this kind of data has only been available to a very select tracks who are willing to make a big infrastructure investment. But our technology is so much easier to install and so much cheaper to use that now every track can benefit from this.
A base station located near the chart collars tracks the horses during the race. GPS is more accurate than a human chart collar and also allows for continuous data capture, rather than being limited to a few points of call on the track.
The system that we have provides the benefit of giving you a more flexible timing system, especially on your turf course. So if you have a wide track, you're limited in what you can use because of the timing items. We're able to overcome that so you can utilize more of your course. We install very quickly, very minimal in structure, and it doesn't affect the everyday operations. The possibilities are really somewhat limitless. We're trying to keep younger fans to the track. And we also engage them in a way that they're used to. It's a multimedia experience and a constant barrage of information makes it appeal to younger fans more than it would an older fan base.
First up base, the Chicago Bears Day Cloud.
You have the ability to keep that information electronically on their smartphone, on their tablets, or through the video connection.
This state-of-the-art graphics presentation and real-time handicapping information will be invaluable for in-race wagering. Post-race graphics displaying a wide variety of the just completed race data are immediately available.
What you need to remember if you're running a racetrack is that you're competing. So you need to be thinking, if I'm looking at a bunch of TV screens and I see the one that's got more interesting information in, the one that makes me feel more confident in placing a bet on that race, that's the race I'm going to bet on.
No sport is as data-reliant as horse racing. Like every other sport, the racing industry must control the depth and integrity of that data. And shouldn't our customers receive the most timely, the most engaging, and the most accurate information possible? Now they can, with GPS automated tracking from Equibase.
That's impressive, thank you. Any questions? Yeah, questions, comments?
Jason, let me ask you a question. In our conversations, I had a couple of commissioners on the standardbred side asked where you are with the standardbred for something like this.
Sure. We've had a couple of inquiries with respect to standardbred. And right now we're just, if we have somebody who's interested, we'll set up a test and we'll figure it out. We've done some stuff up at Woodbine Mohawk, but nothing is installed.
Yeah, I like the access and the mobile unit access and being able to watch real time. Makes a lot of things sort of obsolete.
We're excited.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Other comments, thoughts? But what's the downside?
What is the downside?
We see hands behind with some money signs. Well, it's a question of technology, saying that technology.
Sure. So if you compare it with, say, trackers, which is what provides the same sort of graphics now, it is 1/10 the cost. So that's an upside. There is potentially some additional cost to the tracks, they'll have to have somebody in the jocks room to help out. But as far as things go, what we've done is we've designed a system that's going to be extremely easy to adopt for a racetrack as far as cost and whatever disruptions it is. I should point out that since Equibase is owned partly by the tracks, it is our mission to kind of make life easier for them. So we don't look at it as we actually come in and have a certain ROI with respect to this. If we can cover our costs, improve our operations and racing in general, then we will serve our need.
Sam, did you have a question? I saw you put your hand up. No? Oh, okay. What?
Have you seen any impact on the demographics of, you're trying to attract a younger crowd too, and we'll do a presentation later today about marketing. Has that. It's one of its central outcomes, right?
Yes.
Have you seen any difference in technology you access?
It's probably a little too early to tell, since we've only been talking about it a year or so. But I do know in my prior experience with America's Best Racing, when we used Trackers and Trackers graphics, the ability for younger folks to understand what was going on improved a lot. And I think Trackers hasn't exactly done a lot with their graphics, we need to do a lot more.
Very good. Last call. Yeah, Dr. Robinson.
I was curious as to whether the data is stored somewhere and if anybody, who owns that data?
Sure. So the data is stored actually on the tag, and once the tag is put back into the briefcase, it's downloaded into the computer, and it will be stored in the Equibase database.
You said that the tag gets into the saddle clock. Is there, it's pretty light, but does it add any weight to the job?
Well, it weighs something, so it'll add some weight, but it's negligible. It weighs less than your iPhone. I'll send you a test.
Very good. Thank you. Last call. Questions and comments? Okay. Thank you. Jason, thanks for being here. We need a motion to accept the application.
I need from the commission, Trackmaster has made a racing vendor application. I think George has written something up, if I'm not correct.
I have a proposed order for the commission. It's entitled Access Information Network, Inc. Docket number is 2019-1. And now this 28th day of January 2019, pursuant to section 9351A1 of Act 114 of 2016, known as the Racehorse Industry Reform Act. The above racing vendor applicant, as defined in section 9301 and as determined by the commission, is seeking a license to provide goods and services to a licensed racing entity directly related to racing or the racing product. Pursuant to section 9358 of the Act, a racing vendor license shall be issued and valid for a period of 1 year. In accordance with the statutory authority in the Act, the Commission, through its Director of Licensing, its Bureau of Thoroughbred Horse Racing, and the Office of Chief Counsel have received and reviewed the necessary licensing applications, financial statements, annual reports, and other supporting background investigative documentation for the racing vendor applicant and its officers, owners, and principals, including all applicable fees. The above listed racing vendor applicant and its owner, officers, principals have demonstrated by clear and convincing evidence that they are persons of good character, honesty, and integrity, and are in the best interest of racing pursuant to section 9323 of the Act. Therefore, in accordance with the applicable statutory authority, the Commission hereby grants a racing vendor license to the above applicant, and that can be done as a motion.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the order?
Yes.
Commissioner Benheiser?
You said part. It is a thoroughbred issue, correct? Two horns.
Okay, got it. So,
I'll make the motion.
okay, thank you, Commissioner Doyle, on the motion. Commissioner Rogers on the second. Discussion. Hearing none of those in favor of accepting and approving the order, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, any on the new business?
Under new business, I need a motion for the approval of the simulcast calendars for February for both thoroughbreds and for the standardbreds.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion from Dr. Sweeney. We have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Rogers on the second, and this will be for items listed on the agenda under 1I-A-B. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of accepting and approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say the same. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, under two temporary regulations, there are two items. The first item is the thoroughbred claim rule modification. As I explained to Mr. Gillespie earlier this morning, we're going to table this What I respectfully request, Mike, is something in writing, and we'll put it on the February agenda. If you would like to clarify what it means now, there was some confusion. If you simply want to send me an email, and I'll provide it to the commissioners for the next meeting.
We're going to meet after the meeting today, Todd and I, and the precinct secretaries, and we'll send you clarification in writing.
I will forward it to the commissioners, and we'll put it back on the agenda in February.
You need a motion to table.
Yeah, let's table. We have a motion from Commissioner Rogers, and a second. Commissioner Ruddy on the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of tabling the planning board modification until next month, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next item is under temporary regs. It's a standardbred under B. It is B1. It permits the use of Lasix in 2-year-olds. Mr. Chairman, I need a motion. This item was brought in the last session. They made their presentation. It's been presented before the commission. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a proposal.
Okay, so
Under administrative docket 2019-1, this is under the Lasix Administration 2-year-old horses, standardbred racing only. And now this 28th day of January 2019, in accordance with the general jurisdiction to regulate all pari-mutuel horse racing activities, including the use and administration of therapeutic medications, and pursuant to its authority set forth in Section 9311H of the Racing Act, the Commission hereby adopts the following temporary regulation to authorize the administration of Lasix to 2-year-old harness horses as set forth in the attached Annex A. This order hereby specifically amends and supersedes Section 8 of the temporary regulation relating to the standardbred Leaders Program, docket number 2017-4, which was adopted on February 28, 2017. That would be as a motion.
okay, George, thank you. And only the standardbred commission will vote on.
Correct.
Thank you. The motion to Commissioner Brenheiser, the motion. Dr. Idloff on the second discussion of this motion. Hearing none, it was standardbred commissioners approving this, say aye. Those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
I abstain, otherwise.
Yep, the record shows.
That's all for the regulations, licensing and adjudications.
Mr. Chairman, there is one matter that has come before this commission. It's not listed. My apologies for not having it listed on the agenda. Under administrative docket 2019-3, what we have before the commission is, in order to make sure that we have consistency and clarity, this motion is to authorize Tom Chukas to act as the interim or the acting standardbred horse racing director for the time being, and this goes retroactive to December 3rd when he was charged with those duties, moving forward until a new director can be hired. I have a proposed order, again, administrative docket 2019-3, and now this 28th day of January 2019, it is hereby ordered that pursuant to 9311 D2 of the Racing Act, Thomas Chukas Jr. is authorized to serve on an interim basis as the acting standardbred bureau director and to discharge the day-to-day licensing, enforcement, and administrative operations of the commission, including but not limited to making any initial decisions regarding appeals and hearings coming before the commission, to review, approve, and coordinate budgetary matters with the department, and to exercise all other powers and duties expressly enumerated in Section 9311D3 of the Act. Furthermore, the Commission expressly ratifies any and all actions and decisions taken by Director Chukas on standardbred matters since December 3rd, 2018, through and including matters presently before this Commission. Notwithstanding the above, the Commission shall retain the exclusive and final regulatory authority and jurisdiction over the conduct of horse racing and all pari-mutuel wagering activities within the Commonwealth as set forth in Section 9311E. This delegation of order is subject to the Commission's ongoing review and approval and may be modified at any time by this Commission. That will be in the form of a motion.
Is there a full commission vote on this?
No, actually, yes, it can, because this is not a hiring, it's simply acting, full commission.
Good. Do I have a motion, Commissioner?
I'll make such a motion, please.
Yeah, we've got it. Commissioner Brennheiser has the motion. We'll take the second from you, Commissioner DeBunda. Any discussion? Hearing none. Those in favor of accepting the order, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Tom, the only person who can abstain is Tom.
I abstain.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you.
Can we bring the stakeholders up to date on the hiring for replacement?
Sure.
Commissioner Brennheiser asked the status of the hiring. There were 37 applicants. Once HR went through the listing and determined, based on the standards and the job description, 15 candidates were recommended to be interviewed. Moving forward over the next 30 days, there'll be a first-round panel interviewing the initial candidates, which will consist of an HR member, myself, and Deputy Strathmeyer. We'll be back in front of the commission with a recommendation of 4, possibly more, possibly less, depending. In the second round of interviews, there'll be the 2 standardbred commissioners, Mike Hanna, who is the Executive Deputy Secretary, Debbie Loffman, who's the HR Director, and myself. There'll be another round of interviews there, and the final round, the top 2 candidates will come before the full commission for a vote. My best guess, and it's strictly a guess, there are a lot of issues involved. You're talking a minimum of 90 days.
Okay. Thanks, Tom. All right, adjudications. Mike?
Thank you. The matter before the commission is regarding Amato's appeal of the official results of the 5th race on August 4th, 2018 at Philadelphia Parks Racetrack. And that is regarding docket number Racing PX-2018-NN-20. And at that race, there was a dead heat was declared between Hodor, number 5 horse, the horse owned by Big Monk Stable LLC, and another horse that ran in the same race, Pennsylvania, number 11 horse. The commission had the opportunity to review the record during the executive session, and the following order can be treated as a motion, which reads, and now this 28th day of January 2019, upon consideration of the testimony and exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that the official result of the placing judges with regard to the 5th race on August 4th, 2018 at Philadelphia Parks, finding it to be a dead heat, is affirmed. And that can be taken as a motion.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to?
So moved.
Commissioner Rogers on the motion in second. Commissioner Egloff on the second. Discussion. Hearing none, those in favor of accepting the decision, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Old business, out of competition testing since the last meeting. We conducted no out of competition tests in the last 30 days. We're revamping the system, and we'll be starting shortly in the next week or 2, focusing on both the parks and the meadows.
Any questions, comments? Thank you. Marketing update. Team here will come forward. If you don't mind, just introduce yourself. Some are new, some are back. Why don't you introduce yourself, please? Just this microphone, and since we got Commissioner Devine on the phone, just would really help to keep it close to you. Thank you.
Ashley Eisenville, Director of Marketing for the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association.
Greg Arndt, Comps Planning Director for Pavone.
Zach Gibson, Account Manager of the PHRA account at Pavone.
Gabrielle D'Onofrio, Associate Creative Director at Pavone.
Pete Peterson, President, Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association, Horse Racing Marketing Association.
I would just like to start off by saying thank you for having us back. Very excited to say and get this update on the marketing for the statewide branding campaign that we have the website launched, and we're going to show you a little bit more about that. And actually, we are back in market, or made our debut in the market also this month for advertising and media. So today I brought the Pavone team who can really dive deep on everything that we have done so far to date, but very excited to be here and appreciate the opportunity.
Everything in front of everyone is a 20-page deck or so about what we're going to be doing. Ashley's going to pull it up on the computer here in any sec. For the agenda for today, we know we only have a limited amount of time. It's going to be really diving into that website that we launched, the enterprise website, launched back on the 19th of December. Really happy to showcase PA horse racing and breeding and really get it under one umbrella. Easy to find information to educate and inform people about both the racing and breeding industries. And then going into flighting for media of 2019, as Ashley said, we have started to have things in market right now. Definitely looking at that younger audience, so a lot of digital tactics will be explored, including social media. And then we'll dive into a little bit about the performance we've seen thus far. We were waiting a little bit to really put anything into market until the website launched, so we had somewhere to drive people to. So still in the initial stages there, but we're seeing some great results so far that we wanted to report to everyone. And then if we have time, we know it's limited, diving into public relations a little bit. We just dipped our toe in the water there with the new website and really promoting the launch of that right now. There is going to be a longer lead PR plan. Maybe next time we come back in front of you, we can tell you about how we're kind of putting a wrapper on everything that's coming up here. The rest of 2019 with horse racing and how we plan to spin that to promote the horse racing industry in PA. So with that said, I'm going to pass it over to Kathy. She's going to talk a little bit about the website, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so as Zach said, we weren't quite sure what the capabilities were in here, so we wanted to kind of pull some screenshots as well as have things on the deck here. But we launched the enterprise website, and what's really unique about this is it's clean, it's standardbred, it's thoroughbred. There's breeding, there's economic impact, a lot of interactivity. It's basically kind of one-stop shop for fans to get information. And when we built this out, we wanted to focus particularly on new fans, right? Because there's a lot of information out there for people who are industry insiders. And in our mission to help attract new fans to the sport, we needed to demystify things a bit. So this is really robust. We've got the social feed in here, right on the homepage. We've got track information. We've got really relevant information in terms of news stories, in terms of events, in terms of blog type formats that are coming from all over the industry to keep information fresh. The URL is penhorseracing.com. It works beautifully on mobile, which is where we're seeing a lot of the uptick. It's going to be translated into Spanish soon, and we also work with a lot of partners. We talked to USDA, we talked to people at Equibase, we talked to partner organizations such as the PPHA. So really proud of this effort. Moving on to the tracks page, this is a screenshot of the interactive map. And what's really, really cool about this is we've got different categories, so we can pull down harness, we can pull down thoroughbred, we can pull down off-track wagering. It sorts the information. It has basically pointers there. And when you click on one of those, there's information for each one of the 6 tracks that cover the live racing calendars, that cover betting information, covers the contact, the track's individual websites and directions. So really, really nice functionality, works brilliantly on mobile, lots of information right at the fingertips for the track pages. When we move into the Learn section, this is a really, really deep section. I forget how many headers are underneath there, but this covers the differences between harness racing, thoroughbred racing. We really wanted to start building out the breeding information for people who are interested in that, so that is well represented. Under the Learn section, we've got what to expect, how to bet, how to read a program, which we'll actually show a little bit more on the next page. We've got some information on fractional ownership. and a really deep glossary of terms that we work together with Equibase to kind of port into the site. We've got pictures, videos, infographics that were designed specifically for the site to get information out cleanly, simply, in a shareable way. And again, this is pulling from internal sources. We've got like Let's Go Racing video. Basically, anywhere where we can pull information from throughout the industry, we can add this in. We've completed the CMS training, I think, last week or the week before. So the keys are handed over to the organization to update kind of at will. If we move to the next page, this is where we get into some of the meat of things. You can see right off the bat, you can select, are you interested in harness, are you interested in thoroughbred? We've got history, we've got information about the gates, we've got famous jockeys, drivers, horses, all with kind of a PA focus. We will really want to make sure that the focus is on Pennsylvania names, Pennsylvania tracks, Pennsylvania horses, and again, infographic, fun, fun, engaging clips for new fans. This is kind of horse racing 101 because, again, we need new fans and people who are unfamiliar with the sports to understand and get interested in this. Under the betting category, which is also under the Learn page, this is something that we're really, really proud of, and something that we ran by the Daily Racing Forum to make sure that we were covering all the bases. We've got a similar form, but what's really great about this is this works in mobile. So you can be at the track and you can click or touch your finger to any one of those areas, and it will pull up kind of what the definition is, what it does, and give you information right there. So someone at the track can access this, which is a little bit different than the programs that we've seen before. Typically they work on desktop, but we've not found one that works in mobile. So we're really proud of this and proud of the functionality here. Under the betting section, we really wanted to take the intimidation out of the whole process. So we talked about wagering types, we talked about how to choose a horse, how to place a bet, what the terms are, again, that tie back into the glossary. So lots of really good information there for new fans to understand what that's all about. On the next page, breeding. This one, again, is kind of where, this is where we get a little bit more detailed in the information. This may be not for the casual fan, although the history of the standardbred, the history of the thoroughbred, we felt was important to help fans have a deeper understanding of what this is. The fact that thoroughbreds come from those stallions is pretty interesting and something that not many people would know about. One thing we're really proud of here is for the breeding farms, standardbred and thoroughbred, there's an interactive map that you can find information, see the addresses of the farms, the contact info. So we thought that was a really nice way to help some of the breeders get their information out there. And then we also have information for some of the partner organizations and the incentives. That's going to be built out further for the standardbred as soon as we have a better understanding of what those incentives are, so we can put that into simple infographic form. The impact section is next. There are basically 4 buckets here: economic benefits, integrity, aftercare, and open spaces. So all things that are very important to the state of Pennsylvania. I don't want to go too in detail here, but under things like integrity, that's where we have information about, for instance, the grant to New Bolton, veterinary oversight, things like that that are important to the industry. Under open spaces, we pulled in a video from the PTHA that talks about the stats and how we're partnering basically with the agricultural industry. Aftercare, we talk about the 3 main organizations, not the only organizations, but the 3 big ones, Turning for Home, New Vocations, and New Start. So again, lots of information there. Links directly to the website for people who want to check those programs out further. And then when we get into upcoming enhancements, this was kind of a brief snapshot. It's a huge site. I encourage everybody to go check it out. And again, it works lovely on mobile. On the events page, we've got a calendar view. Basically, we want to add a monthly overview to that. We want to pull in the live racing calendars onto the events page. And we want to add basically a fair filter for harvest racing, because we understand that a lot of those races happen at county fairs, and those are equally as important as the three big tracks in terms of getting fan interest in building that base. We're also in the process of getting up a live feed to see the American Pharaoh foal, which is really, really exciting. And then we've got the camera spot. Ashley's been working tirelessly to get that up at the farm. And an employment page will also be forthcoming so that people can upload resumes directly to the site. So really robust, huge endeavor, lots of cross-pollination between different organizations, and we're really proud of this.
So hopping into reporting, again, this is, we just launched. But one of the things that we really like to see here is, and again, it's a little easier to see in your handouts, on the left middle row device breakdown. You can see mobile is by far the leading traffic driver to the website. That's something we hope to see, especially as we're looking at a different consumer than we have in the past. The other thing that I would look at is the far right, sessions by medium. This means where is the traffic coming from. So links from social and the Facebook posts that Ashley and the team have been putting up have been driving lots of the traffic to the site. These are all things that we're going to track month to month and see kind of the ebbs and flows. The other nice thing is this is pretty much without any advertising support, especially if you do any kind of live launch. We want to make sure all the bugs are out. Luckily, we didn't have many, and everything went without a hitch. But as we start running out with the advertising support, all these numbers are going to become incrementally larger. Going into any questions on the website before we move into anything else? Keep moving. So, looking at the media plan, again, this is a slight update from the plan we presented in December, really with live dates. The nice thing that we have going on here is, we're looking at targeting prospects. Again, men, females, 25 plus, largely prospects. So if we're looking at how to track them, where they're coming from, again, we have a couple advertising efforts that are in market right now. Social media, we also are launching today with a video platform that's allowing us to target the footprints of casinos. So as people are walking in, they're now going to either be served right there while they're there, or retargeted once they leave. So again, people that are not only in proximity, but also meet kind of our demographic needs. From a multimedia perspective, we're looking at display, takeovers, out of home, and video. One of the videos we actually have here today to show you one of our 15-second ads that are going to be running a little later this afternoon. And the thing that we really love about this advertising, not only is it quick to the point, especially as we have attention spans getting less and less, but it really kind of talks to the consumers that we're looking to attract. People that are looking for something different.
So this is this thoroughbred. Yes. These are more exciting anyway.
So as we talk a little bit about some of the infographics we have on the site, these are the two most popular posts that we had last month. One being an infographic around kind of, who does one racehorse employ? So again, economic benefit. This thing, gangbusters, lots of shares, lots of comments, definitely got around the internet very well. The second is the best of 2018. Again, this is content that came from the PHRA, and again, a great kind of shareable resource that the team's putting together. And then a quick, just kind of touch on reporting. You can see that kind of peak. That was the best of video. Again, when we're looking at trying to create content that's going to create engagement, get in, eyeballs, especially among our key demographics.
And the last thing we want to touch on here is public relations. I know we probably used up most of your time, so I'll try to fly through this. Like I said, the big public relations endeavor right now is that website launch. Now that we have a presence, getting out in front of it, making sure we're reaching out to trade organizations and consumer targets alike, and just letting them know that we're here and what the mission of the PHRA is. So Pete actually had a phone interview with the Central Kent Business Journal on Friday, so they're going to run the piece. I'm not sure the exact date of that yet, but there's a couple other ones in the pipeline as well. Continue to get the message out there, and really our process is to keep the outreach going until someone says yes or no. So we'll keep hitting hard on that, making sure that the website gets the prominence that it deserves, along with some social support as well. Provide a few Facebook recommendations, a few giveaways, Twitter posts that can do nothing more than support the public relations initiatives that we have in market. The next slide, please, Ashley. And then that long lead PR plan, which is still kind of in the works right now. Obviously, Gabby said about the American Pharaoh full birth that we're kind of anticipating with the webcams and the live feed on the website, which we think will be a great feature to kind of drive people to. Same with the triple crown hype and figuring out how to put a wrapper on that and bring it back to PA.
Yeah, one thing that I'll add really quickly to that, you see kind of the possible PA Derby contenders, the Kentucky Derby contenders. Obviously, Paul is a Pennsylvania bred, Maximus Mischief is Pennsylvania raised, I can't talk today. And those are two very promising looking horses on the thoroughbred side for the Kentucky Derby. So what we're really hoping to do is start to build some hype around that. I know it'll be interesting because I think Maximus Mischief is slated hopefully for the Holy Bowl coming up February 2nd. So we'll see how he does. But if we have two Pennsylvania hopefuls, that'll be something for fans to get behind and to keep pushing that, similar to the way that Martin Jones was able to really boost the lines of racing in Pennsylvania.
That's also any questions we welcome.
Questions from General Lifestyle?
On the launch of the website, you have figures there as far as responses. How would you compare our launch with other launches that you've done? I mean, in terms of responses to the website.
I think the majority will have better numbers in January, knowing that we kind of launched on December 19th, right before Christmas. We weren't expecting to get a lot of kind of notoriety in late December, but everything we've seen in January has been very good. I think the real benefit is as some of the advertising comes out to push traffic to it, we'll start to see how much traction it really starts to garner.
And just to add to that, this is kind of a slower time for racing here in Pennsylvania. So I think as we enter the spring months, as we enter into the Triple Crown season, there's been increased interest in horse racing, and that's going to tie very much to the marketing effort that Pavone is doing for us. It's just kind of like ramping up at this point now. As Zach said earlier, we were kind of in a soft launch stage, for much of December, beginning the end of December, beginning of January, specifically. That's the process unfold for a lot of these website designs where you get it up and you figure out if there's any issues, anything needs to be fixed, and then you kind of, once you have some more confidence and everything's working properly, that's when you really start to push.
The thing is some of the materials that you showed us, is it available in print? Like, for example, you did the one on the breakdown of employment. Is that available in print so that we could have copies to?
Yeah, we can send PDFs that can be printed because those files all exist. At some point, if we wanted to have downloadable files, it is possible to do that on the website, but we can certainly send over those files to whomever needs that.
The communists on there working around the Kentucky suggesting, I'm sure you're already doing it, that when the breeders' crown and the Hamiltonian comes up, there's going to be a high percentage of Pennsylvania horses in those races. So that should be a major effort to go in and see that.
Yes, absolutely.
From a content standpoint, who keeps it updated? So that's Ashley falls to you,
Yes.
right? Okay.
I would say, yeah, Ashley has the keys now with the CMS training. What CMS is the content management system, so it's very seamless to go in there, update everything, keep everything fresh. We do have a news section and we have a blog section, so even people like yourselves that are very well versed in the industry can find something, maybe some interesting news on our website.
And on the back end, we're also supporting with any major things that need to be added, but basically Ashley can go in whenever she wants to and update that and let stories come in. So it makes it pretty easy for everybody.
Okay, good. Other questions, comments? Any thoughts? Okay. That's good. Thank you. Thanks for coming back and great update. Thank you.
Okay, into industry reports. Mr. Hankins, do you have anything? Mr. Beagle? Jim Simpson, anything? Mike?
No, we do.
Todd? Do I have to ask?
He can't wait.
Good afternoon. In the packet that was passed out, you'll see the breeding fund information year-end. We were down 1.489 million compared to last year. We ended up with a little over 16,688 plus the 1.3 million that we received from the 25% of the racing fund, brought us to 17,989. One of the reasons why it was down that much is first couple of months of 18 was a carryover from the budget from 17 as far as money being going to the state for various items. So 17,989, and the amount that it had to be at to kick in the PA sire information was about 26 million. So for this year, it did not occur. So we'll continue again, same as last year. 2018 graded state standings. You have a handout there as far as the states and the number of graded states winners representing each state. Of course, Kentucky had 309 graded stakes winners. Florida was second with 24. Pennsylvania was third with 14. We beat New York, who had 13, and California and Maryland both had 4, and Illinois 3. We also, if any of you got a chance last week to view the Eclipse Award ceremony down at Gulfstream, PA had 2 horses that were eligible for Eclipse Awards. Both of them won in their categories. Shamrock Rose, who won the Female Sprinter Award, and that was the 3rd consecutive year that Pennsylvania won the Eclipse Award for Female Sprinter. It doesn't happen too often. I think Florida did it in 2008. But again, we had 3 female Sprinter Eclipse Awards over the last 3 years. Something that we're going to take advantage of advertising. Unique Bella also won in her category, which was female long dirt category. That was her 2nd in a row. She won the female sprinter last year and female long dirt this year. Stallion auction, I missed that. Stallion auction, we had a very good auction this year. In fact, we brought in the most amount of money that we've had since the very first year that the auction came about, which was 9 years ago. So it was a good auction. February issue of the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred is attached. The story there is on one of the stallions that we brought in, Warriors Reward. So if you get a chance, you can go through that and read that. We have approximately 9 new stallions in Pennsylvania. I expect the mare's bred to go up greatly this year. So we had 2 years ago, 17, we had an 18% increase in mare's bred. Last year, we had about an 8.5% increase, and I expect this year to be well above that 8.5% for 19. Any questions?
Questions for Brian? So just connecting back to the previous marketing presentation, right? So interested in sort of the interface between the breeders and the breeders page, right? And like the information we're seeing here, it all seems to be appropriate to have connected to or into that web site. Is that the plan?
And we are, right. Right. You talk about the PHRA website.
Yeah,
right. Yes. Yes. In fact, they've already put some items up, and also when our stallion auction was going on, they advertised that on the website too. So yes, we intend to continue to feed the information, and Ashley does get information from all the different stakeholders, including us, for items to be put up on that website.
Questions, comments? Thanks.
I just have one quick question, unrelated to this. I know we submitted a few months ago the commissioners for the new terms. Did we get any answer on that? Or we have anything on that yet?
It's a good question. I need to double back. I mean, the agreement was when we passed the operation to revisit. I had a chance to. Thank you.
This time there's no further comments.
Other comments, organizational comments, commissioner comments? Okay, thanks to the marketing team. Motion to adjourn? Okay. Got a motion and a second, and everybody said yes. Right. Okay, we'll see you then next meeting.
Here's my time to stay.